Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Dr. Nyashira. I am a doctor by training, by passion and by profession, and we are here for part 2. We had a discussion, we started the discussion with Phenny. She's been telling us how she got diagnosed with HIV when she was in high school, and I don't want to preempt because this story has just reached where? And then
okay, so my sister comes. She gets called and then she's like, akona mimba. No. Is she being suspended? You know, because of my naughty behaviors and all that. They tell her no. And then the third one, is she HIV positive? So of course they told her no. She's not. So she said, kama si hizo tatu then nakuja. Yeah. So she came, and then getting to school, of course she was told I'm HIV positive, discovered through some organization that came last week. Of course, at first she was so mad. She said, why did you test her without our consent? I mean, she's just 16 years old, you know. I feel like you guys just wanted information and data. That is so bad. Kanza kuweka hapo threats za kusuu nini, you know, that is not
the okay.
But now she started coming down, and then she said, you know what, we knew that Phenny was positive long ago. She got infected through our mom, and our mom had passed on. That is in 2002, I think, when 5 years after Dad passed on. And I'm the only one who was apparently infected with HIV. What happened was that my mom had separated from my dad after our 5th born, and then when they reunited, I think someone was already moving on with their life. So then they come, and then I was conceived.
Now tell me, you're a teenager. There is all this drama for being a teenager. And then you have this diagnosis that has come, and at that time, if I remember well, as you said it wasn't a disease where you take it lightly. How do you process this as a teenager? And at what point did you start treatment? And then you tell us a bit around treatment. I know you've written before that you've told us you had hips, and I know you've written that the hips. Tell us the effect of this. And now, fast forward to where we are now. So at that time, like you say, as a teenager, I had to use my tactics of being a teenager, and I lied that I'm okay. I wasn't fine, but I just said, ni sawa, everything is fine. Don't worry. Me, I've accepted myself. I'm fine, you know. So I was lying to my sister. And she said, wow, that's really good. So we are all here for you and all that, you know, as a family. So second term, third term, I go back to home, and then I start treatment. So they all sat down as a family and agreed I'm going to stay with my aunt. I used to stay in the village, but now they said Shule's kifungo, I can choose to stay in the village or with my aunt in Nairobi. So of course I went to stay with my aunt because of the treatment ilikuwa Nairobi. So at this point you started clinic.
Yes.
You've been enrolled to care.
But now being enrolled to care meant that, I don't know, somehow when you just start taking ARVs, that's when my disease zinalipuka vizuri. You know, it maybe triggers the immune system. So I developed, apparently I had tuberculosis, I had meningitis, and my CD4 counts were 101, if I'm not wrong. So I had to deal with all this.
And the viral load was what at this point?
No, those days they were not taking.
They were not
okay,
so you started with your CD4 at 101.
And it was Septrin at that time first. And then they said, no, this is so impossible. We can't keep on putting you on Septrin because your health is becoming worse, you know. So I was introduced to ARVs, you know. But then there are always those misconceptions. Watu wa ukimwi sijui hizi madawa ziko zinanyonga, lazima uzikate mara mbili, you know, all that. So I had all those fears, and I had to overcome them through counseling, which I really received well. So then after that, that's when I started accepting myself, and then the opportunistic infections zikaisha. But now the side effects, of course, by the time I was going back to school, they had to check again because it was after 3 months, I think. December, it was November, and after 2 months, but they checked again, and it was around 6 something. So I was doing so well. Yeah. So I went back to
school. And you've gone back to the same school?
Yeah, I had to go back to the same school. Here's why. Because I had an uncle who was paying for me.
So you are...
Alikuwa ashamaliza.
Ashalipa for the entire time?
To Form 4. Hauna hiyo luxury yao, sijui Stigma, oh my friend. Hizo ni luxury.
Pesa ni yangu
yes.
Now tell me.
Luxury, yeah.
So now you've gone back. You're on treatment. And side effects. How did you deal with that?
Honestly, it was so hard. There's nothing as hard as taking ARVs in a boarding school. First of all, you sneak.
But everybody knows.
Everybody knows, lakini huwezi kuwa tu Jesus uanze kusema eti by the guys by the niko nayo. No, everybody knows. Hiyo ni shida yao wakijua, but
lakini si mimi
ni one of the rumors too, you know, like, I don't have it here. So of course deny all through mpaka after mpaka Form 4 ikaisha, but in between in my school what used to happen was unapigwa na Bunsen burner 1. 2, unapigwa in circumstances that
lakini unachapwa aje na Bunsen burner?
Unachapwa na that ka pipe.
Ndio mnachapwa nayo.
That pipe ndio unachapwa nayo ya.
Hapo ulikuwa mtukutu aje Phenny?
No, so wait, on top of me being mtukutu, now there's HIV in and there are ARVs, you know. And I remember it was 1x2 at that time, the pills.
So you used to take in the morning and the evening.
Yeah. At 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. So 9 a.m. ilikuwa ina collide na class. Sasa hii watu wamesha settle down and all that. Mimi ndio nakimbia. Remember, all the teachers know me as yule to that kachiki girl, you know. Sasa natoka anaenda wapi sasa hii? Kukimbia tu hivi teacher on duty. Uta receive your 2 pipes. Ndio uende, ndio niende sijui ni kwa cabin nichukue and then nirudi. So trust me, I used to have the 2 Bunsen burner pipes every single day.
But you must have been so determined because
yes, sikuwahi acha dawa.
If you bet me like that, I would probably have started 6 to 6 routine.
No. Sikuwahi acha dawa, and it was just that one 9 a.m. 9 p.m. So zingine 9 p.m. ndio naachia ile prep ya ile break ya 5 minutes 10 minutes afu narudi. So yeah, but there were sometimes ningetoka class 8:50 ndio nifike kwa cabin by 9.
Ni hostel?
No, it was some like those cabinets hizi tudogo. Yeah. Okay. So tulikuwa tunaeka utensils hapo, and then any other important thing that you felt.
Now tell me. So you've gone through high school, Bunsen burner daily, you finished. At what point? But you didn't even tell me about the side effects. I was very interested.
Oh yeah, the side effects were I felt drowsy. I started diarrheaing for I think your first term yote Form 3. I lost weight, lots and lots of weight. Sasa hizo hips zilitoka zote zikakuja kwa boobs, you know. I didn't have boobs, sasa boobs zimejaa and huku kwa flat. Yeah. And I remember having some boils. I don't know what was happening. I had opportunistic infections at the same time and all. Na pia kuna mtu anataka kusikia hizo vitu. I had boils at very private parts, you know. So no one really wanted to understand those things, So and then nightmares, but I had to go through all that. So after high school, I went to my aunt's place again. And I kept on taking my drugs mpaka siku ile nikaambiwa wow, you are undetectable. Oh my god, I was so
now
happy.
Right now we are at undetectable.
Yeah, we are.
Now I want you to tell me at what point did you decide, okay, I can talk about this in the public? A lot of people after a diagnosis, even in the hospital we see it a lot. The next statement is, please don't tell anybody. Please don't tell anybody. And I understand, understandably so. But how did you overcome the stigma? How did you overcome that?
Okay. So how I overcame the stigma was through rejection. I went through rejection. I kept on saying, okay, I'm going to be telling everyone that is hitting on me about my status, and that didn't go so well. I would count. There were like 15 men who rejected me. So after that I said, okay, and then the father of my kids came and he was HIV negative and accepted me. We had the babies, you know. then after that, we broke up. So I said, okay.
But this breakup, this time was not.
No, it was not HIV related. No, it was just like any other normal relationship of cheating and all that. Yeah. So after this, I went back to my norm. Yeah, I'm HIV positive, being rejected and all that. And I'm someone that is
And now you have children.
Yeah, now I have kids. And I said, you know what? What would be more harmful? I mean, I can just go out. Because, well, I used to really interact with people on the inbox. Facebook.
Wewe ni wale watu wa DM.
Oh my God, mimi ni watu wa DM. Mimi nina trust sana Facebook. Sana. Mimi ni watu wana meet watu on blind dates.
First,
yes.
Tell me.
So, this blind dates, tukisha meet, of course, at some point, you know, you'll just know it would be natural. Sile tu mtu anakuinbox hapo, niache mimi niko na ukimwi hapana. You know, it would be after some time, yeah. So, well, when I used to meet these guys, most of the time, well, I cannot say that all the guys, but most of them would be like, hapana, wewe usijali, kula tu vizuri, piga tizi, usijali.
Lakini sio mimi nitakulisha. I
know. And then, sasa it's from babe to sister in Christ, you know. So nikasema, I'm done. I'm done with the whole rejection and discrimination. Let me just come out, you know, publicly.
And how has that been? From when you first spoke out? I know I have met you because of your story. How has that changed your life?
I've been more thick-skinned because of the trolls online. I've been more privileged to actually be on so many platforms as well. So for me, that has been a privilege that I hold in high regard because I've been able to tell my story freely, you know. And at the same time, I've been able to move on with my life, you know, have my third child now, and then now about raising HIV negative babies. When you're HIV positive, and the first partner that I had was HIV negative, but then remember it was undetectable. So they told me, and I know you know this, when you take your drugs very well, your viral load is suppressed, and when it's suppressed, it's like you're HIV negative, but then you're positive. So I kept on taking my drugs. Something that I've never left in my life is defaulting and all that, never. So I've been taking my drugs all through. It's been easier for me. Because now that I'm having my drugs, I can't pass the disease to my kids. And every time that I gave birth to them, they were on prophylaxis as well. The ARV syrup, nevirapine, and then right now, Kwe was on Zidovudin now, and then nevirapine, So it's been a journey, but a very beautiful one, because even me, I look back and I'm like, I came out on 5th of May 2017, and well, I've had my regrets of coming out because I felt like there were some parts of my family members that what do you call it? You know, you know, and then they were like, hey, okay. But then I had to really, I try as much as possible to walk this journey alone and not drag people that I really love, other than now my husband and my kids. You know, I really try to, because everyone wants their own privacy, and maybe they are being stigmatized because of kazini yake when you want to preach about ukimwi, you know,
So you try and protect them. So tell me, during this COVID, how has COVID affected your access to treatment, access to care? How has all this impacted on you directly in this space that we are in right now?
Well, luckily enough for me, it hasn't in terms of treatment, because I take my ARVs in Nairobi. I can easily access them. But because the Ministry of Health, of course, is concentrating more on COVID and all that, we've had stockouts of ARVs, but not in my clinic. What we've had in my clinic is a Septrin stockout. So you have to get the Septrin.
So some drugs are running out just because of the current situation.
Because people are not concentrating more on HIV, which is fine, you know. But then again, there's that paranoia of, you know what, I already have an existing condition. I really need to be so careful, protect my immune system, you know. So I've been having more of the ginger concoction, garlic, and lemon
to make sure.
Yeah,
actually with COVID, social distancing, you know, mask and everything.
So I've been so keen on that. And then to top it all with the newborn now, you know. It's been I overtake precaution. Ukikuja tu sanitize. Na by there kuna visitors anyway, but hata wenye wanaishi na sanitize please. Sisumbuane, maisha sio mzuri. Yes,
Thank you for sharing your story.
having me.
I am so proud of you.
Thank you for
sana. I'm sure there are so many people who follow you who would have initially been traumatized by the situation, but just looking at you and you live such a positive life, literally. Like, you're so positive. Hey, May, I am so inspired by Phenny's story, mostly because HIV and AIDS is something that we have treatment for, not necessarily a cure, but there are ways to live better, to live a healthier life, to be able to get HIV negative babies. I did not see this coming, but please subscribe. See you next week.